Happy morning to you, YouTube, and it is a happy morning because this Leafs road trip just continues to rumble along and leave opponents bruised and battered egos in their wake. Last night the Leafs were in Vegas, and so it didn't start till 10 o'clock, and I was super tired for some reason. I got getting a cold, and I had to run my son back and forth to theater, spend a lot of time in the car yelling at stupid drivers, and so I was like kind of in and out of consciousness throughout the whole game. I watched the whole thing, but it was like I'd wake up and a few minutes would have gone by, and what happened? And so it was kind of a wild game. It was in Vegas, like I said, and I think a lot of Canadians planned their Valentine's Day trip to Las Vegas around this game because there was a ton of Leafs fans there, and they had obviously planned it because they all had their jerseys. So it almost seemed like a Leafs home game. There was way more blue sweaters in the crowd than gray, and there was "Go Leafs, Go" chants instead of "Go Knights, Go." So it was really something else, and the Leafs started really well too. They had a great first period. They were the better team. They got on the board first. Janssen had a tip in the high slot that eluded Fleury and just added to the Leafs' momentum. Later in the period, the Knights tied it up, but you could still tell that the Leafs, it was just like whatever. You know, they're playing great. They knew they had the game right from the get go. Second period, Vegas started strong, scored 2 goals right off the hop, putting them in front for their first lead of the game. But later on, Marleau tied it back up, and then nearing the end of the period, Matthews scored on the power play on a beauty setup, and then gave the Leafs a 1-goal lead again. And then in the third period, Vegas came out and tied it up. But then right around the halfway point of the period, the Leafs poured it on and scored 3 goals and gave them a lopsided 6-3 win. Matthews had another one on a broken play with a spinning shot to the top corner that was really nice. Riley had a seeing eye shot from the point that snuck in, and then Marner got in on the action with a shorthanded goal. So it was, although the Vegas scored 3 goals and they had their periods in the game where they did have a bit of pressure and stuff like that, it was mostly Toronto. It was they just continued to build on the momentum they've put together through these last handful of games when they've kind of finally started to sort things out. You can really tell they're on when they're fast, and not just fast, but like intensely rambunctious fast. Like, it's not just that they're skating fast, their whole bodies are like, they're just like, God, they want the puck, and you can tell that they're going to get it. They're just, everybody's on the same page, they're all skating hard, and it's just something to see, because once they get control of the puck and they throw it around the zone and they're in that kind of sync with each other, it's really hard to get the puck from them. And then Freddie was good. Vegas still had a fair amount of shots, so he had to be sharp, and he was pretty good. And then everybody else, yeah, the defense was pretty good too. It was a pretty well-rounded game, and especially considering Vegas is a pretty good team too. So although they gave up over 30 shots and they gave up 3 goals, that's going to happen from time to time, especially when you're playing, one of the top teams in the West. So. And the other bright side is that the power play continued to put up some goals. So they went 2 for 6 last night. So that looks to have sorted itself out at long last as well. So yeah, another solid win. And I haven't even checked the schedule because you have to be awake and thinking to do that. And I haven't been that a lot lately. So, but I'm sure they play on Saturday night. So we will see you on Sunday morning or sooner if I have something else to share. But in the meantime, have a great Friday, and if you're in the Canadian provinces that celebrate Family Day, have a great long weekend. I know I will.